Welcome to our last Q&A video about our Empire State Trail trip. This is going to be a Q&A on the Albany to Manhattan section, and then I think some general overall thoughts and feelings about the Empire State Trail system as a whole. So we'll get right to the questions. And the Albany to Manhattan portion, I think it's about 175 miles, something like that. So the first question is going to be me. I'm going to ask you, Rich, to describe the route or this trail section of the system.
So the trail section of the system, it's pretty wonderful. It's primarily paved, either rail trail or paved road. There's some gravel rail trail in there, as well as some gravel roads. Very, very nice surfaces to ride your bike along.
Okay, yeah, it was definitely smooth and easy and all of that.
Yeah, perfect, almost perfect.
Yeah, fair enough. Okay.
You.
Yes.
Is there a better direction to travel?
Yes.
Along that section, yeah.
Yeah, I think we talked about this a little bit, and although we rode from north to south, we certainly saw people riding from south to north, and I think a lot of the trips that I've seen online do that as well, probably because there are people starting out of New York City as opposed to Albany. I think our conclusion was that there's really no better way, one way or the other. We certainly felt our direction was fine, and I could see how the other direction would also be fine. So it's probably going to be based more on your logistics and where you're starting out from and where you want to end than anything. So I think either direction is probably fine.
I would agree. The elevation profile seems fairly even.
Both ways.
Either direction.
Yeah. Okay.
Who would you recommend this trail for, Sarah?
I would recommend this section from between the Albany and Manhattan, so Hudson Valley, I believe is what they call it, the Hudson Valley section. I would recommend this to almost any bike tour, including beginning bike tours, mostly because, as you said, it's basically paved. There's just a few short gravel sections, basically all paved. There is some elevation, but none of it is very challenging or extreme, depending on your fitness levels. But if you are interested in bike touring, so riding day after day, I would say this is very good for almost any level of rider, with the same caveat as the Champlain Valley portion from Rouse's Point to Albany, that you must be comfortable riding on road. There absolutely are road sections to this part, the Hudson Valley part, and so you definitely have to be comfortable riding on road. Richard, what do you think is the best time of year to ride the Hudson Valley section?
I think, Sarah, the best time would be any time except winter. Honestly, it was amazing. We hit it early fall, and it was just wonderful, but I could see it being perfect in the springtime. New York City having slightly milder climate. I think it would be good at almost any time of the year.
Yeah, I agree. How was food and water along this portion of the section of the trail?
Food and water was plentiful at stores. There are a lot of little country stores that you pass through in those small towns like Tivoli. I don't believe there was any free water at the trailheads or along the route at all. But food, convenience stores, general stores, all easily available. Restaurants,
Yeah, and I think this was probably of if you're looking at the Erie Canalway, the Champlain Valley, and then the Hudson Valley, by far the most consistently populated.
Yeah.
There was just a little portion there that was, you felt you were out in the country, but so there were convenience stores, restaurants, little towns the whole way. The downside being there's not parks and set up trailheads where there's free water and free bathrooms and everything like that, so you're definitely almost always going to be going into a place to purchase those things, but there are a lot of them around, so double-edged sword.
So Sarah, how were transportation and lodging options along this section of trail?
So similar to food and water, where we are in such a populated area, the good thing is that for indoor options, there's certainly hotels and like a range of hotels, B&Bs. I'm sure there's lots of Airbnbs all along this route. And, you know, like somewhat, certainly close to the route itself, so you shouldn't have to go too far off it in most cases, and like a lot of options. So if you want to do 70 miles, if you want to do 30 miles, because there's so many towns, you're going to find like more choices.
Yeah.
The downside, because it's so populated, is that there's not really as many camping options. I'm sure we saw some specific camping options. They're not coming to mind, but so you're going to have a couple camping options, and certainly look on the Empire State Trail website for that. But not as many, not as obvious as on the Erie Canalway portion or the Champlain Valley portion. So not as much camping, but certainly more indoor options. In transportation, like the others, there is a rail line that's going to run between Albany and New York City, and you can take bikes on that. So, and then that does stop at, you know, a handful of the towns that the route crosses through. So you would be able to use the rail line, and certainly to go from New York to Albany or vice versa can do that. And then I think if you're coming from New York City, I believe there could be a handful of shuttlers that might take you one way. I think Gotham City Bikes will do that, but I would check around out of New York City. I don't believe they'll do shuttling on like a regular basis like we have on the Gap, where they just run all the time. But if they're doing their own tours, or if you have like a private group, I think I've seen, and I've met those folks, and I believe that they'll do like day trips out of New York City. My question is, what type of bike and bike setup would you recommend for Hudson Valley section?
I think most bikes, pretty much any setup would be fine. You know, from road bike, gravel bike, hybrids, recumbents, the trail surfaces, the road surfaces, they were all very accommodating to different size tires. I mean, I don't think one would have any problems out there. I'd say if you were running like a really skinny road tire and carrying a load, you know, carrying your bags and stuff, just watch out for road debris, that sort of stuff. But otherwise,
yeah,
very accommodating to multiple types of bicycles.
Yeah, and because it's like 80-90% paved, anything you can ride on pavement is going to be fine. So
yeah, exactly.
pretty easy. What were highlights of the Hudson Valley section of the Empire State Trail system for you?
I mean, without a doubt, obviously riding into Manhattan, that was super fun. I really enjoyed that. I thought the Wallkill River Trail, that was amazing. All the industrial heritage, industrial archaeology adjacent to it. And also like the Tivoli Bard College area. That was a lot of fun.
Oh, and that was like definitely like a little more country, and there was like a little more gravel. Like that was one of the short-ish gravel sections.
Short section of gravel, but the roads, right? The country roads in there are just really nice, rolling, you know, scooting along kind of fast.
Yeah.
And just very
beautiful.
Nice. Yeah, very pretty.
Yeah. Hey, Hudson Valley there. Yeah.
Imagine.
I'm surprised.
What about yourself?
So if you were like, should I do it? Am I, I want to do it. I'm excited to do it. I would say, yeah, absolutely. You should definitely do this. I agree. It's the scope of it is what makes it like an experience. If you like bike touring, whether you're going Buffalo, Albany, down to New York, or if you have the time, and I would recommend, do the whole thing, do Buffalo to Albany, and then also get that northern section from Rouse's Point down.
Yeah.
Because that also gives you like a whole nother topographic area, physiographic area. It's the scope of it that really does kind of wow you.
I think we're done.
Did you enjoy your trip?
Yes.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I mean,
Yeah.
riding your bike every day. Come on.
Yeah.
In beautiful weather.
Yeah.
Gorgeous scenery.
Yeah. It wasn't too bad. So if you're interested, certainly in riding the Empire State Trail system, there is a website just for the Empire State Trail system, which we will list in the content description of the video. You also can go look at our website at nobleinventionbiketouring.com, also linked below. And we'll have services there for how you can plan your own trip on the Empire State Trail or just the Erie Canalway or a number of other trails that we work on. I think that's it. Thank you for riding the trail with me, Richard.
Thanks for taking me along.
Yeah, no problem. So hopefully y'all get out there and have good trips planned for the future, and maybe the Empire State Trail will be one of them. Bye.
Take care.